Hello, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be talking about footballers' wages. One of the main reasons that footballers earn so much money is because within football, like in any other industry, how lucrative the industry is and therefore how much people earn within that industry is dictated by supply and demand. Now this is going to be one of two videos. In the second video I'm going to talk about demand, how the demand for football in this country affects players' wages. But in this video I'm going to be talking about the supply. How there's such a tiny supply of professional footballers in this country and the effect that therefore has on their wages. There are currently about 4,000 members of the Professional Footballers Association. Now that's tiny compared to the millions of boys who grow up wanting to be a professional footballer, having it as their dream. In your school you probably knew of those one or two guys who were scouted and played for an academy, but even if you're within that small percentage who can make it into an academy, about 98% of players are dropped from academies by the time they're 18. So it's very hard to become a professional footballer, and a ridiculously small percentage who want to be a professional footballer make it as one. Therefore, if you define talent as your capability and skill level compared to other people who do the same thing as you, then because of the popularity of football in this country and the amount of people that play it, particularly growing up, professional footballers have to be considered some of the most talented people in the country, and even more talented than doctors, for example. That's not to say that what they do is of more value than what doctors do, of course it isn't. But it is to say that you require more talent to become a professional footballer. Now that's still a controversial statement, I know that, so let me explain further. If you're the cleverest person in your school growing up, you're getting all A stars in your exams and you're the hardest worker in your year, if you decide to yourself that you want to be a doctor, you could almost definitely become one because of your work ethic and how clever you are. If you're the best footballer in your year growing up, you're always captain of the school football team, and also you're the hardest working when it comes to playing football. If you decide to yourself, I want to become a professional footballer, you still almost definitely won't become one. And it's also for that reason that it's so much harder to become a professional footballer in this country than it is a professional in other sports. It requires more talent to become a professional footballer because of the amount of people who want to be a professional footballer, because of the competition. And that's why wages vary so much as well within football. If you're a League 2 footballer, the lowest level of professional football, you're probably earning about £1,000 a week. Depends on the club you play for. If you're playing Champions League football at the highest level, you're part of that tiny percentage that are able to play at that level, you're probably going to be earning about £100,000 a week, maybe even more. Now the reason they're earning so much more than the lower level footballers is because they're part of that tiny percentage of people who are able to provide football as a service, as an entertainment at that level. They're a part of that tiny supply of people. So when you hear people complaining, saying, all footballers get paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, it's not actually true. The majority of professional footballers don't get paid to that extent. A tiny percentage earn hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. But the majority in this country do earn a few £1,000s a week, which again is a lot of money. And again, the reason for that is because they're a part of that tiny supply. They're a part of that tiny percentage who are good enough to play football at their level and provide it as a service and a form of entertainment for other people who are willing to watch it. So that's how supply affects footballers' wages and why they're such high earners. Simply because there are very few jobs that require as much talent as football requires in order to do it as a career and to be a professional within that industry. Please comment, like and share if you enjoyed the video. Remember as well, this video was not a justification for footballers getting paid that amount of money ethically. That's a completely other matter. It was just an explanation of one of the reasons why they get paid that amount. The next video will be about the demand for football in this country as arguably the biggest form of entertainment in the world now as well, and how that affects players' wages and why it affects players' wages. But as I said, please comment if you enjoyed it, like if you enjoyed it, share, and please subscribe. See you soon.